Hello and welcome to Zelda Speedruns. Today we're bringing you a Minish Cap any percent race, and I am joined today by PK22AH and Quo. How you doing today, gentlemen?
Life's good.
Okay, and looks like we should be ready to start, so I will set them off. So, thank you, gentlemen, and I will leave you to it.
Alright. Minish Cap. Alright, 10-second countdown, then we'll get started. I think we have a bit of delay, so we'll just start whenever they do.
Right, switching to Firefox makes things way better, it seems. Chrome was having some issues with the stream.
Oh, maybe.
Just let me know if you are hearing the game through my headset. You should not, but you
Sounds good. Yeah, looks like we're starting now.
Perfect.
So yeah, before the game starts, everyone's going to reset, so that's just set up for small manipulation at the start, but yeah, for the most part... Oh, wait, we're synchronizing. Alright, so first on the runners, we've got 4 runners. 3 of them are actually like within 45 seconds of each other. Mikhail, Kerbis, and Martin are pretty much neck and neck. And then Myth trailing a bit behind, but he's been on the grind, so...
Myth is I guess, primarily a player of Rando. If you are watching the weekly, you must see him pretty much every week. And so his progress on any percent has been extremely fast. So it's going to be an interesting race, in my opinion.
Yeah, so he definitely has the fundamentals, just hasn't had time to grind runs, so him being behind doesn't necessarily mean he's not he's going to be the one to lead last.
Yeah. So this intro is like a minute and a half, during which we do nothing, because that's how some Zelda games goes. And it basically tells you about the story of the Legend of Zelda and such, just like in the Wind Walker, basically. And our friend Zelda is going to wake us up, because who doesn't love being woken up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday? Am I right?
Actually, it's your uncle or your grandfather that yells at you. It's not even Zelda. It's not like...
Yeah, but if she didn't come...
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So, as Kuo was saying, we start with a soft reset at the beginning of the run, because we want to do RNG manipulation, because this game is on GBA, which means we can do RNG manips.
Luckily. So those 2 rolls on the first room are to get a blue rupee from this pot, and Martin forgot the manip. Oh no.
Well, he could have saved it if he rolled, I think it's three more times to get another blue.
Yeah, something like that. It's not super consistent if you miss the first one, but getting
is it?
Yeah, no. Because most people would reset anyways, but
yeah,
can't do that in a race. So we'll see what he comes up with, but 5 rupees isn't the worst thing in the world. He could just get lucky in the first time.
I'm pretty sure if it doesn't get a drop, he's gonna take the chest in Deep Root Shrine.
Yeah, he might have to.
Alright, so this is the festival where Zelda is like, hey, come with me to this amazing festival that only happens once every 100 years. So that means, since this is probably in medieval times, most people have never seen this festival, because nobody lives to be 100.
No humans anyways.
Yeah. And so you just run errands with Zelda, because why not?
Because that's what you do as a 10-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, since Zelda is the princess, she has insane luck, and she wins at the lottery slots thingy. I don't even know what that game is, but she wins a prize, and she chooses the shield. And that's our first item, which is actually pretty good, because it's thanks to that we can continue the game by defeating this business club.
Yeah, we'd sort of be stuck without that, but
Yeah. Right.
cutscene's almost over.
Yeah. When you actually go talk to the minister, you trigger a cutscene as soon as you are close to him. If you roll at the same frame the cutscene triggers, you softlock the game.
Yeah, and that's actually
Which-
only on the Japanese version
It's Japanese only. I didn't know
that we know of.
Yeah.
Some people have tested it a lot and couldn't do it on the other version, but
Yeah.
yeah, frame perfect soft lock right at the beginning.
And then this guy is coming here. He actually has a right to come because he won the tournament, because there was a tournament. And the winner gets a sword that you actually brought to the castle and get to see the magical sword. Is it the first sword yet, or just the magical sword? I don't know.
This is technically just the white sword.
Yeah. And he actually is a bad guy that wants to break the chest open to check if there's some power in it. Unfortunately, there's not, but still. And he breaks the party by killing the guards and turning Zelda into stone.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, that's a Zelda game. If
From
nobody
what
gets
we
captured or killed, it's not a Zelda game.
Yeah, so a question from chat. From what we know of, no one has actually done that soft lock in a race?
Not during a ZSR race, but during our intern races. It has happened last summer at least twice in a row. I know because
no. Yeah, you learn pretty fast to like not mash there once you do it once or twice.
Yeah, and I mean, as long as it's not an official race, we just reset and
exactly.
start over. It's not a big deal.
Doing it to have fun.
Exactly. So the king has a great idea. He actually reveals to everyone, well, everyone being the prime minister, the smith, a kid, and a dozen guards, that Minish do actually exist. They are tiny people, and they can only be seen by kids. So who are they gonna send to save the princess? The only kid they know. Link.
The only kid they know.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know, Link's pretty good for the job. Like, the other three kids, there's like the one that has snot coming out his nose in the market. Like,
yeah,
I don't know, I'd rather have Link.
exactly. So this is, well, it's gonna be the end of the intro in a few minutes now. The intro is basically 10 minutes long until we enter the first dungeon. It's basically all about cutscenes and rolling.
Yeah, there are...
Jeez.
Yeah, luckily all the like boring parts are in the first 10 minutes, but after that the game picks up a lot.
Yeah. I mean, the first plate is very... not sad, but very frustrating, because losing 2 seconds to 50% cutscene is infuriating.
It's like if you miss a roll or if your mashing is off and it's like, oh, like I can't make up time because...
There's nothing.
Because, yeah, there's nothing to save time on.
Exactly. So here we meet Eslo, who is a duck. Probably.
It's a duck, yeah.
It's a duck. He's getting ganged.
He's getting bullied.
Ganked? Yeah, bullied. I guess that's the right way. By some Octoroks. Octoroks are the worst enemies in this game. I'm gonna say that about every enemy, but...
They're all the worst enemy. They're all tied for first.
Yeah. So we save Eslo, who happens to have the same goal as us, which is to stop Vaadi. Vaadi is the name of the bad guy. Golden ropes? No, those ones are okay, because we don't see them in any percent. And so Eslo, despite being very talkative, he actually has some uses. He actually helps us to learn how the game works, and he can turn us into a Minish, which is the point of the game, I guess.
Yeah, it's half the game, or it's one of the like game's main mechanics.
Yeah.
But yeah, Eslo just acts as your partner and talks when you don't need him to talk. But it's also useful, so we don't hate Eslo.
Yeah, we don't hate Eslo. It's not a Navi. Eslo is
It's not
actually
Navi, it's not Phi. King of Red
So-
Lions was okay.
A few things on the pond of water right before entering the village. You can actually get into the lily pad on the first cycle, but it's frame perfect, so nobody ever did it in a
Yeah,
run.
no one's done it in a run. I think like 2 people have done it, like with save states and just like grinding to see if they could.
Yeah,
but I don't
Toads has done it for sure.
Yeah, I don't
No.
think people are really going to be sad if they miss it.
Yeah. Something funny, I guess, to notice in the village is when you enter it, you cannot understand what the other Minish are saying because they speak a different language, obviously. So what they did is, on the European version, they actually reverses the sentence. Like instead of saying hello, they would say hole. In Japanese, they replace every hiragana by katakanas, which are the 2 main alphabets, I guess, with kanjis. And in the US version, I think it's just gibberish.
Yeah, it's just gibberish.
Is that? Yeah. So that's some little bit of
Some
Easter
Minish
egg, I
Cap
guess.
lore for you.
some lore.
Oh, we're all about the lore in Minish Cap.
We really are. Not really. We are finally entering the first dungeon. We had to talk to the head of the village to get the authorization to go and blah blah blah. It's basically rolling.
Basically rolling.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, right now Martin's a bit ahead, but he did skip that 5 rupees, so that extra text box might be what's drawing him ahead. So he'll losing that time back.
yeah. Every time you pick up something for the first time, being a rupee, a hurt, or something else, you're gonna have a 2-second text box, basically. And so this is Deeproot Shrine.
Yeah, so Deepwood Shrine is basically like the introduction dungeon of the game sort of thing. So you'll have like a lot of Eslo stopping you and saying, oh, this is how a door works, or this is how, a floor switch works and stuff like that. Yeah, which can sort of be annoying. But mostly if you roll into those triggers, the game will actually take an extra second to load them up. So their movement, they want to go fast with the rolling and all that, all their movement. But they also don't want to roll into the triggers, because that'll stop them.
Have to roll into some triggers, exactly.
No, don't roll into the triggers.
So what do you think of those mushroom enemies?
Puff stools. They're great when they cooperate. You can roll through them really easily. But when they don't cooperate, they're very not great. I'm not a fan.
I hate those guys.
I'm happy we only see them in like 2 rooms in this game.
Yeah, but that's 2 rooms too many already.
Too many.
So yeah, this dungeon is mostly about learning about the main mechanics of the game, pulling and pushing objects, how puzzles work,
Yeah.
which make it a quite easy dungeon to learn, but I think really hard to optimize, because losing a few seconds is extremely easy and saving a few seconds is extremely hard past a
Yeah.
certain barrier.
And there's a lot of like very, very small optimizations we can do that like in the grand scheme of things don't save a lot, but people still go for them because there's nothing else to do in this dungeon.
Yeah,
But right now Myth in sort of a bad spot right now. He only has half a heart. So he'll need to be a bit more careful because taking
does,
a death
yeah.
here-
we
Oh, and actually, Martin
haven't
being-
about the rolling mechanics just yet. It's obviously the fastest way to move, but at the beginning of the roll, you get some iframes, so you can roll through enemies if you time it right. So being low health isn't necessarily a very dangerous thing, but
Yeah, if you can time your rolls and stuff. There are some rooms like the one they're all in with the pillars right now, for example, that you can't roll through all the enemies at the same time because they're just so spread out. So
yeah.
sometimes if you're low health, like yeah, you see Myth here, he's gonna have to cut down the enemies because he doesn't want to risk it. Oh, going for the heart. It's a good move on him. Yo, Kirkus with the sub.
Yeah. Nice.
Good job, Kirkus. Go spam his channel with bits. No, don't do that. Alright, so they're coming up to the first mini-boss. This is Matterpillar. Luckily, you only see him once in the run. But he is pretty not hard per se. But it's a tight timing to get a 2 cycle on him, especially because if you start slashing your sword early, he'll push you back, and then you miss the 2 cycle. So you need to time yourself that you start hitting him early enough that you get enough hits in, but late enough that you're not going to get knocked back and miss the 2 cycle. Looks like Mikil and Martin both got it though.
Yeah, getting a three cycle in Matapila is unacceptable. If anyone gets three cycles, they have to forfeit the race. That's the rule.
I don't think that's official rules, but you definitely feel like you want to forfeit the race after that, even though it's just like a 5 second.
Yeah. And so the reward of this fight is getting the ghost jar, or the sucky pot, as some might call it. Basically a portable vacuum cleaner that sucks things up. And it's not very used outside of what you're supposed to do with it, but you can actually do some neat trick with it, like how I didn't really pay attention to everyone, but you can suck the spider web kind of fast if you line yourself correctly with the ghost jar, and you can also interrupt the recoil of it with the Eslo trigger right next to the lily pad, for example. So there are some really small tricks, but that are nice to get. And oh no, Kirby's is falling into the water.
Oh, Kirby's.
Another thing to notice about the ghost jar on the lily pad is that once you use the jar 4 times in one direction, if you use it on direction that is at a normal angle, so like 90 degrees, you're gonna have quite a noticeable boost. And I think that's about it for speed techs. Except from that, this part suck. The lily pad is...
No pun intended.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No pun whatsoever.
Yeah, no, lily pads are definitely not anyone's favorite section. We actually thankfully cut out a big lily part section a couple years ago with Flipper Skip, but we can't cut this one out quite yet. Still working on it. Yeah, Martin's actually going to get the 20 rupee chest.
Yeah.
It's going to set him back a bit, so I think Mikil's going to take the lead. But he might still be in 2nd place. But yeah, Kirby's and Myth are both like right on his tail.
Yeah. So the three of them are basically tied.
Yeah.
So that was Deep Root Shrine. Now they're all gonna face the boss, which is, interestingly enough, a simple chew.
Worst enemy in the game.
Another one, yeah. Actually, this one is pretty okay in my opinion.
Yeah, this one's fine.
But the smart thing is that since you are a Minish, a simple chew is huge and is a real threat, and I really like that, honestly. So how are they gonna kill this Quo? Enlighten us.
Alright, so yeah, so they can, I mean, obviously you get the Gust Jar at this dungeon, so they can use the Gust Jar on the base. Sometimes he jumps though, and it's actually pretty interesting. Recently we found out that, well, Tompa found out actually, that when he jumps, you actually want to let go of the Gust Jar even though you can hold it, because that actually makes you able, or makes him able to be hit again earlier. So little lore for that. But yeah, most of the time, just knock him down, and then he's actually down for an indefinite amount of time. But no matter how many times you hit him, he'll still be 3 cycles. So we actually want to hit him the least amount of times possible, and the less is 5 if you mash. But it can go up to 9, so you just stay there slashing, and yeah, it's not a fun time. But Mikil it never is. Mikil with a 1752. I think the other 3 are going to get not sub 17s, but pretty close, or not sub 18s rather.
Yeah, sub 18 is the first big milestone you want to reach in TMC, I would say.
Yeah.
Maybe something else for the very beginning, but once you get used to the game, getting a sub 18 shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then once you start being very good at the game, it's more like sub 1730, which I can do once a year, something like that.
Once a year sometimes is all you need.
Yeah.
Alright, so since they have the element, the Elder is going to let them out, and there's a few things we need to do before we hit up the next dungeon. So we're going to go back to town first of all. We're also going to get bombs, we're going to get the spin attack, we're going to get the Kinstone bag, and a bunch of other stuff, so we'll get to that when we get to that.
So this Elder, we will never see him again. If you look closely on top of its desk, I guess, you can see a poster with the 4 elements, and it's gone.
Dude, elements on the wall.
Yeah, so many things on the walls. So this guy is a bomb guy. He lives outside the village because he probably killed a child or two, and so the other Minish were like, okay, you have to get out.
Yeah, that's the only reasonable explanation. You'll see a lot of them are damage boosting through the bombs. It's a bit faster than just throwing it and waiting it, obviously. And they are all going to be getting a health refill later, so taking damage here isn't that bad.
Yeah, well, I guess Martin doesn't have to, since he got the 20 rupee, but...
Oh, true, eh? I wonder if I'll remember that, though.
I mean, I think if I was on his position, I would still go to the cave just out of habit.
Yeah, same.
So what they did just before entering the town is activate a wind crest, which is basically gonna be, well, we don't know yet, but it's gonna be a quick travel point. So that's gonna be useful for
I'm going to use it 2 times, but it's going to be useful when we get the ocarina to travel there.
Yep. And there you can see that everyone is just saving and quitting because it's faster than doing the Kinstone fusion with the guy. The guy has a terrible name that I cannot pronounce because...
Hurdy-gurdy, man.
Yeah, exactly that. It's basically teaching you how to do Kinstone's fusion, which is another mechanic of this game. It's basically the golden sculptures of OT, or what is it in Windwalker, the treasure chest, I think.
The
treasure maps.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
the sea maps, whatever they are.
Yeah, it's like a side quest that you can do for.
Yeah, so it's a side quest, and then like sometimes it ties into the main story. But we will need to be doing a few fusions in this run.
Yep. And so, well, then they launched the spin attack. I haven't watched if anyone got the roll lift. Did you?
Oh, I didn't see.
So yeah, there's a few different techniques with bombs. Basically, if you drop a bomb, it's gonna take a certain amount of time before exploding. If you pick it up and throw it right away, it's gonna detonate half a second faster. And if you put it down and roll 1 frame later, it's gonna bounce a little bit and it's gonna detonate a second faster.
Yeah, so basically it like pretends that you picked it up and threw it on the same frame. So instead of like Link picking up and then Link throwing it, it just like gets thrown automatically even though you never picked it up. And that just makes like the fuse shorter for some reason. So it is frame perfect though, but missing it doesn't waste too much time because you just pick up the bomb if you miss it.
But I think most people just attempt it on the first cave with the business club, from which you buy the bottle, which we did not talk about, but there's nothing to say, just that we buy the bottle. Because it's usually faster to drop the bomb as far away from where you want to throw it as possible and just carry it, basically. Yeah.
Just like for movement reasons. Like if you walk up to something and place the bomb, it's better to just drop it way back there and walk with the bomb, right?
Yeah.
So. But we get green water here. So this is Mount Crystal water, I think. Or hot spring water. Oops, Kirpus is drowning. And it's a special water to grow a specific bean. And that's all we need it for, really. It can... Oh, actually, Martin got a roll up, but then got hit by an enemy, so he had to drop the bomb.
Oh, no.
But yeah, we're going to use it to grow a bean like they did right when they got on the mountain. And for the rest of the mountain, it's pretty much just going to climb all the way up, because that's on the next section they need to go to. They need to go get the broken sword fixed and find the second element. So that's their goals right now.
Yep. this area is really tough, especially I was gonna say especially for new runners, but even for experienced one as well, because
It's tough for
experienced
everyone.
one tend to be more reckless because there are a lot of enemies. You have only 4 hearts. You get a refill at the beginning with the fairies that you've seen, but it's most of the time not enough.
Yeah. Like I remember last when was it? Last summer? 2 summers ago? When we did the Minish Cap tournament, like Vlack actually died here
Oh yeah,
in his race against me, and that's like pretty much the only reason I won. So I'll take it. But yeah, even top runners can have trouble here.
yeah. Also on this screen, you pick up a huge bean, and you really hope that the flying things are not gonna try and bite you in the butt.
Yeah.
That's
So
sometimes
if the pestos hit you, you'll drop it. Oh, actually, Myth is getting bullied, and then you can't pick it up again because the pestos are still there. You can actually throw it, and it does 10 damage, which is like twice as much as the sword right now.
that's
he actually killed
what
both the
Myth
pestos
does.
there. Yeah. So good on him for knowing the backup. Not a lot of people know it. Martin trying to catch
Yeah, catch a Tektite.
the Tektite in the bottle.
Tektite, I choose you. and then the Tektite, instead of fighting your enemies, turns his back on you and
Oh no.
jumps. Alright, so this is the second thing we need to buy after the bottle for 20. It's the grip ring for 40, which, as the name foretells, lets you
Grip things.
and so escalate. That's how you say it. Go rock climbing, basically.
Yeah, climb things. I guess escalate. No, what's the word? Like escalade is the word in French, but
Yes, that's a word in French. But
no, it's climbing. It's like rock climbing.
climbing. Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't need it too many times, but we do need it. So
Do we
Yeah.
need past this actually?
I'm not sure. We definitely used to, but we skipped out the book quest because you need it for climbing books for some
Yeah.
reason, even though it should be allowed.
Well, we need it later to climb down, but I think that's all.
Which parts?
After Cave of Flames, climb down.
Oh, true. Well, yeah, true. We could skip that though, pretty easily.
Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So we only needed to climb up.
Up.
Ascend. Yeah, I guess ascend works.
Ascend would work.
All right. This part is actually very important. Ezlo, well, you are a Minish, so droplets are huge and can damage you. And Ezlo says, wow, if we get hit by some those, it's gonna deal a lot of damage. But you actually only take a quarter heart of damage, which is the least amount possible. So Ezlo is a freaking liar.
Yeah, actually, I'm not sure if it's the same on in the European version, but in English it says that if the droplets hit, you'll feel like a boulder, and boulders do half a heart, but the droplets only do a quarter heart.
Yeah, I think it's the same in EU, or at least that's how I remember.
Yeah, something like that. Myth though will have to be careful because if he gets hit by two droplets, that will spell death. And if you die here,
roll into this trigger again. He was telling me yesterday that he's always rolling into this trigger.
I'm nervous watching that. He's not out doing it though because there are still enemies in the later half of the dungeon.
Did he go to? Well, I guess not, but he could have gone to the fairy room.
Yeah, no, he didn't get the heart piece thing.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't know about it though.
Alright,
So-
while we are doing this very intricate and interesting
Puzzle.
rock pushing section, I'll take a quick break and talk about a thing. So if you guys read in chat, so we're running a fundraiser, and by we I mean mostly me, but people in the Minish Cap community are helping. And it's to help one of my close friends raise money for back surgery bills rather. So if you want more information, everything's in the GoFundMe, so you can go check it out. We're also running a marathon, and submissions are still open till tomorrow night. So if you want to run a game, or want to submit at least, you can check that out too. I'll find the link really fast. But yeah, I'd appreciate if you'd submit something, spread the word, do what you do. Twitter, all that fun stuff. Oh no, Myth actually forgot to push a rock.
Oh no. where Myth is, you can see some beetles under rocks. You can actually roll through them. Nobody does that, but it's a cool, neat little trick.
Yeah, rolling through them is really cool. It's just
Playing with fire. All right.
it's giving me a heart attack out here.
Yeah. He should be out of the woods real soon.
Yeah, no, he's good now.
Well, not really.
One enemy that he can hit himself on, but that's easy to dodge.
No, there's still the red beetles.
Oh, true. Never mind. You're right. Yeah, he's playing it safe.
I mean,
but yeah, no, he has to right now. Like he'll lose a few seconds, but taking a death here will lose him like 3 minutes.
yeah, so you don't want that, obviously.
Oh no.
So, Makil and the others have spoken to the smith. That's like, yeah, I'm gonna fix your sword by blasting it with my hammer. That's not how you fix a sword, by the way. I cannot straight that enough. That's not how you do it.
It's not how it works.
Yeah, not at all. You have to
right with
first
the
melt it and then reforge, but it's a matter for another stream.
No.
Oh no, he died. No, Myth.
Oh no.
Well,
Alright, Myth is actually gonna quit the race here.
easy.
Yeah, he quit the race. From there, recovering is gonna be like so hard.
Yeah,
Because he'd start like at the bottom, and he would have the grip ring, so climbing the mountain wouldn't be as hard, but it's a rough time.
Yeah.
I think I've died there twice, and it's like you.
Alright, I want to give a quick shout out to the Oracle games, because they have lame minecarts that are really slow, and we have those amazing minecarts
We have
that
cool
are
minecarts.
fast. Yeah.
Interestingly enough, this is something I learned like a week or two ago. But the minecarts don't have a set path or anything. They go wherever the mine tracks are. So if you can like put mine tracks in other places, you can just like control where the minecarts go. It's really cool.
Yeah, when you say you learned that, you mean you messed with Fire Rod and
Yes.
found out, yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
Alright,
so
so
how
this
was
is Cave of Flames, the second dungeon, which is about ice, as you can see. No, it's about flames and fire. And it used to be a glitchless dungeon, just like Deeproot Shrine, but not since our Lord and Savior Solidified Gaming came into us this summer.
Solidified gaming.
Yeah. He found some tricks. I mean, mainly one trick. That's, I guess we can call it angle retention, that we're gonna talk about in a bit. And it made the whole community alive for 2 weeks. That was
Yeah.
That was freaking biblical.
And technically, PK had the record for like an hour. Because
That was the best moment of my speedrunning career.
there you go. But we'll get to that later. Actually, no, we'll get to that now because Mikhail is in the right room. So yeah, there's a really weird mechanic in this game, and this was found like years and years ago, where if you exit a hole diagonally, Link's model gets reversed, but only if you go down. If you go up, left, or right, it doesn't. And we thought that was just it's a visual glitch, but it's actually not, because as you can see on Mikhail's screen, he's gonna grab the chest with his diagonal angle. He's gonna pull it back, and that's actually gonna make the angle, the chest also get pulled back. So in this case, he pushes it out of bounds. He's actually gonna push it through the screen transition, and that's gonna like kill the screen transition, and then he's gonna get the key. So this does 2 things. First of all, we do get the key, but also the screen transition gets disabled, so we're gonna be able to go out of bounds here and get to a later part of the dungeon. And we're actually gonna skip using that small key where it should be used to use it later instead.
Yep. And so when you go through this loading zone that you've just deleted, there's 2 ways to go: the safe way and the big D strat. Because it's big D, like in it's the B bridge. Bridge starts with a B.
Yes.
The bridge strat.
The big beast. Oh no, he's gonna mess up the quick kill on the mini boss though.
Because you can either go to the room that's on the basically the strat they all did, which is safe,
Yeah,
or
the one
you
that
can
covers
go to the bridge but if you fail, you soft lock the game. So
Yeah. So I think in the race, I think they all went to the lower room.
yeah,
I think
So-
Kerbis goes for the bridge usually, though. Although I could be mistaken.
I think everyone does, don't they?
I'm not sure.
Not sure. I mean, it's not that hard once you get the rhythm.
Yeah, once you get the feel for it. But even then, I don't think the 10 seconds is worth it in a race.
Yeah. Alright, so at least Kirby's has shown how you do the quick kill strat on this mini-boss fight.
Yeah.
You basically do a spin attack and then kill one or two depending on how good you were on your first spin attack to kill the rest with another spin attack. It's all some timing and placement. It's not that bad, but it's really easy to mess up. And you get the Cane of Patchy, which is a weird item that lets you put some energy into walls to jump and that flips off things. Is that how you say it? Flips off?
Flips things. Flips off is like
flips.
giving someone the finger.
Yeah. So you flip things.
So back to the angle retention glitch. Mikhail's actually going to do that again here. And I guess everyone's in that room. But we're actually going to do that to push the lever into the wall so that when Link grabs it and goes diagonally, it's actually going to be in the wall. So that the next time Link grabs it, this time when he's diagonally angled up, he's going to damage boost himself off the roll a bit and roll into the room right above it. But this time you're on a higher layer, so we can actually just skip the boss key like that. And yeah, Mikhail just did it pretty much flawlessly, and so did Martin. So there you go.
Yep.
There's a bit of... go for it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if you see them holding the sword, it's because you have to maintain your diagonal angle, and you can do that by using the sword or the shield or the cape later on. But if for only one frame you are not maintaining your angle, you're gonna lose it, and you have to go back into the hole.
Yeah, if you move...
the whole setup.
Yeah, if you move without using an item like that, then you'll lose the angle. Yeah, it looks like they all did fine on the boss key skip. You can soft lock there if you're not careful, so that wasn't an issue.
Yeah. Right, so this is Glirog, that's the second boss of this game. You can actually do a quick shot of the cane at the beginning on his armor thing.
Yeah.
And I think Makil did it. I didn't really watch the other ones, but it's a small time saver. And I think we have to do that. Well, we have to talk about it.
Do we though?
Yes, we do.
Okay, one second. Let me just mute myself, and you can do it, and I'll be back in like 10 seconds. No, I'm joking.
All right.
All right. So if you look closely
On the walls.
you will see they're made of rocks. But more importantly, the rocks are shaped like the boss.
There's Glirogs on the walls. And that's the most important part of this on this speedrun.
This is the content you guys are watching.
This is. Alright, but more seriously, there's not a lot of speed tech in this fight. I mean, I guess you can lure the boss to fire where you want to, but you can also.
Yeah, no one does that. The task does that, where it'll get hit by fire to be able to move faster and get to the boss a bit faster, but it's not worth it. Yeah, the only notable strat is if you stun Gleerock with the rod, when he's facing up, his head falls a couple of frames faster. So we try to do that, but it's not enough to force it, sort of thing. So if they go left or right, I think Martin got one where he went left. It's not that bad, but him facing up is a bit faster.
Exactly. So just to give you a little bit of an insight, I think this is.
Yep.
Before the new tricks with angle retention stuff, we would consider that getting the fire element within 40 minutes was good, and in under 39 was great. Nowadays, it's more like getting a 36 something is very good, and really top runners, so Vlad Toads and Darky on Fire can get a 35. Something.
You have to have a really solid beginning.
So we really did save a lot of time thanks to those new glitches.
Yeah. And there was actually an old version of that boss key skip that you would need to do a few more rooms, and they were still pretty long, but you still saved like a minute.
Yeah,
And then we found the one in the roll a bit room that you guys saw. So,
which is way easier than the first
easier,
one.
faster.
Because it was frame perfect, but you had to do the frame perfect input on the 8th frame or something like that. It was an awful timing.
Yeah. That's why don't do runs the second a trick gets discovered. Just wait like a week, and then it'll be discovered. For an example, Ocarina of Time 90% dropped 6 times.
Unless you want to steal the world record for a day.
True.
Which is literally what I did. But yeah, not much to say there. You just need to roll to the castle to use the 2 elements you gathered into the white sword, which has been reforged. Only noticeable thing is don't forget to actually go pick up the sword from the smith.
Yeah. So if you finish the dungeon and just head to the castle immediately without getting the sword, you will not be happy. And yeah, all 3 guys are pretty much neck and neck.
That's
like Kerbis has like a 10-15 second deficit, but that's not a lot in this game, especially this early on.
Yeah, I mean the late game is harder, so this is where everyone can really take the lead or lose it.
Yeah.
Especially entering Fortress of Winds. That's my take on that. Or even maybe before that now, more like during the Kinsel Manip, but
yeah. We'll
that's
get to those two more.
the pace goes up, in my opinion. But so with the new sword, you have the final mechanic of the game that's unleashed, I guess, which is
the final main one, yeah.
clowning. Which is, just cloning for
Cloning for clones.
for puzzles and some fights and things.
Yeah.
So Windows and model run. No, what I'm implying is it's the point where the run gets really
Like
tricky.
after this point, it's like the point where better runners do things faster than less experienced runners.
Yeah.
But yeah, cloning will let you mostly do puzzles. Sometimes for fights, the clones can only use swords, and like you're locked out of all your other items. So
Martin did a cool strat.
Oh, did he? Damn, I missed it.
Yeah, he went up and then slightly down.
I think Mikhail did that too, actually. I was watching his stream.
Alright, so basically you have three strats for this fight. The pretty safe strat, which is go down and face up and slash, which will never fail, but is not the fastest. The advanced strat, which Martin did, which is go up as soon as you touch the ledge, go down and slash 3 times in rhythm the moblins, which is faster by like, I don't know, maybe a second or half a second. But if you mess up, you're gonna be extremely disappointed.
Oh yeah.
And the task does a spin attack, which is frame pixel perfect.
It's frame perfect in your positioning. It's not pixel perfect for positioning, but it matters a lot, and it's frame perfect. Or like within the frame window. Yeah, no one does that. Because if you mess that one up, you lose a lot more time. Because then you like knock the guys away, and they're like up close to the top of the screen, and it's a bad time.
Yeah. Oh, and it's time for the best cutscene, but wait, audio comes from Martin right now, right?
I can check.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, audio's Martin.
All right, so I will say it for Martin. Oh, actually, it's really neck to neck.
Yeah, they're really close right now. You see that for this cutscene.
Oh! This is literally my favorite part of this run. I swear. So we don't really know what happens because it's in Japanese, but Vaadi gets really close to the king, and then the king goes the way you've all heard it. So we can only assume what happened.
He killed the king.
With pleasure. Yeah. Well, should we talk about that sign, Crow?
Did we talk about the sign?
Yeah.
About the sign, we're allowed to talk about it. So yeah, there are a few triggers in this game to like unlock parts of the game, and for the next part we need the boots, which normally you're supposed to go into Castor Wilds to get the boots, but for some reason the trigger is also attached to that sign that they all read, so by just reading the sign we can cut out a bit of movement. But if you miss reading the sign for some reason, and you press B, and you like slash the sign with your sword, the sign breaks, and then you have to go into Castor Wilds and feel bad.
Yeah, if you slash the sign, which is another reason why the sword goes on B, because you can read stuff with A, but if your sword is on A, you can slash it.
Yeah, but if you press R to read, but you roll instead, and then you press B, the sword gets buffered at the end of the roll, and then you slash the sign.
Yeah, and if you're not right in front of the sign, you can actually pick it up instead of reading with R. So
damn.
Suddenly Osby.
It's rough out here.
Good content. Thank you, Mighty. Mighty knows.
Oh no, Martin, he dropped the bomb and then he just like screen transitioned left.
Oh no,
that's too bad. You'll lose a bit of time there. From when the cutscene happened, McKill was 6 seconds ahead of Martin, and then Kerbis was about 20 behind Martin, so 26 behind McKill.
Yeah, so that's really close.
Yeah, but McKill can pull ahead now a bit. So,
all right,
a bit more buffer.
I'm saying people saying sword on B is good is the right way to do it. Let's start a poll. If you think sword is on A, just say the word and we will ban you from this channel because this is obviously wrong. Wait,
unfortunately,
do I have such power? No. Damn it. Well, there's not a lot to say here. They're gonna roll and use the cane to go to the witch hut to buy the last thing we need to buy, which is the wake up mushroom, because Rem, which is the guy that's gonna give us the boots, is a lazy fella. He's sleeping all the time and he's like, hey, I'm building boots while I'm asleep. I must be a genius. But actually it's the Minish that are doing all the work. And well, we could probably wake him up with what we have on us right now, which is a sword, some bombs, some vacuum cleaner. I mean, if we use our imagination, we can probably find something out.
No,
but
he needs the mushroom though.
Magic mushroom is the way to go.
And we need to make this track to go get the mushroom from the witch. Got banned 4 times. Yo man, if you roll bad rainbow seeds, like, that's on you.
Yeah. And yeah, we've seen some drops of seashell from time to time. Those are the best and worst thing in the game, depending on where you stand. Right now for me it's kind of the best because I need one for a manip, or at least when I do
okay.
A manip I get one anyway, so I don't really care.
Yeah, okay.
Most of the time you really want to avoid them because it's an extra text box, so that's a free 2 seconds time loss for absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, mysterious shells are only useful in 100%. And even then you don't even...
Because you get them from chest, so...
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get a chest early on, so you wouldn't get that 2-second cutscene.
Yeah.
So getting shells in 100% doesn't matter. Getting them in 90%, it's like... Usually you want to avoid it unless you do, like, specific manipulations.
Alright, and then everybody got the boost, which is the fastest way of moving, obviously. I mean, it's the fastest if you are going far. The rule of thumb is if you have to do 3 rolls, do 3 rolls. If you have to do more, just use the boots.
Yeah, they do have a bit of startup, but their speed makes up for that.
And so everybody can go through the swamp and fight the first Dark Nut. Dark Knights are kind of tough enemies, really hard to deal with, especially when you are first starting out. So that's why we use the boots to bonk over them. Kirby's got a charge, which is really good. Saves a few seconds.
Yeah, there's a few ways to cheese them, thankfully. So we don't have too much problem, but definitely if you're starting out or playing this game casually, it can be a bit of a hassle, especially when you fight 2 or 3 at the same time.
And this is the second and last lily pad section. This one is way better because there's no enemy to try and make your life miserable.
You just go in a straight line.
Yeah. You
so
have to
after
dodge the thing.
Yeah, pretty much. But after they get the bow, they're gonna all do manipulations to get Flintstone pieces. I think they all do different manipulations, so we'll see a bit of a route variance here. Fuzzy Games, thank you for the party of 8.
Hey, Fuzzy.
Party of 8.
How was your any percent practice? Fuzzy is actually learning TMC any percent.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Alright, so Makil does the 2 manip.
Yeah, does the classic. It looks like Martin's doing the same one. Alright. Yes, they get 2 Kinstones here. They'll need either 1 or 2 later, depending on what they do.
And Kirby's does as well.
Alright. I thought we would see some variations in the minute, but now they're all doing the classic 2-minute.
Yeah. Down to 219. Nice. Keep it up.
Myth died
In
at the last possible spot you can die while climbing the mountain.
Chrono. Yeah.
Like he died to the Moldoziers right before entering Molari's mines.
So let's talk a little bit more in depth about those Kingston manips, but not too much. I think because it's gonna be very technical and boring for just being entertaining. We need 4 green Kingstones to get the magical boomerang later. We have a few manips. The ones I did first is one to get 2 Kingstones. The one Kirby just did is to get 1. We have really hard manips that can get you all 4, but that's really hard, obviously, because that's Black that came up with it, and Black never does anything easy. I mean,
Black is a robot. That's the only explanation.
It's the fastest after all, but it's way too hard.
Especially for a race.
Yeah, especially for races. You have some manips later on Lon Lon to get one that you might miss, and you can actually manip pretty much any Kingstone you want from an Armos in the next dungeon, which is a really cool trick that nobody's gonna do, I think, or maybe Martin.
Martin does it. Speaking of, though, he just barely pulled ahead of Mikhail, so he now has the lead.
Oh, maybe.
And Kerbis is like basically right behind. So yeah, we're still neck and neck.
Yep. Something we didn't talk about is hardware differences. Michael is playing on emulator. Martin and Kirby are playing on Wii U, which is the fastest console because it saves faster, but every loading is slower on Wii U, I think. Like every time you start work, it's a few frames slower, but saving is 2 seconds faster. So overall, Wii U is like 20 seconds faster, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
And well, that's about it, really. That's
yeah. So in that section that just had 2 save warps, that's definitely where Mikhail could lose a bit of time there.
And while this part is Wind Ruins, there's not a lot to say. You are usually very low health, like Makil and Martin are, because the swamp, which is called something else in the game. I call it the swamp because I don't know the real area name. Castle Walls is pretty tough area. I mean, you fight a Dark Knight, you have some snakes that are always on your way, some pirates, and no real way to get healed fast.
And also, like, so there are drops in this game, and not all areas have the same drops, and there's actually not as many heart drops in Castle Wilds and Wind Ruins.
Yeah,
so if you get hit,
this isn't Link's Awakening Switch where you can have heart drops everywhere.
Yeah, I know. So you need to hope that like enemies drop them, because it's a small chance that you'll get it from grass or something like that.
Alright, so yeah. They are going to enter Fortress of Winds soon enough. Let's see if they can get the slide. Martin gets it. That's nice.
The slide. I came up with that trick.
Michael got it as well. It doesn't look like a lot, but you have to clip into. Well, actually, I don't even know how that works. I just know what I need to do.
So to explain it pretty simply, basically, like when you walk in a wall, you can only go a certain distance. But if you like rub up against the wall from the side, you're actually 1 pixel into the wall. So you need to like run into the wall from the side so that you're 1 pixel closer, and then you just hold left. And since you're 1 pixel closer, like that's the difference. You need to not bonk into the wall there.
Yep.
So you can say it's a pixel perfect trick.
Yeah, it is. So this is Fortress of Winds, a very cool dungeon in my opinion. You have a lot of small tricks that save a few seconds here and there, and that makes the whole dungeon pretty optimized and hard, I guess, in a way. Beginning with this first armors to kill, they all did the same strat, which was to use the skull to deal maximum damage. But you can also use a spin attack and not kill it, and actually kill it while you are cloning, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's cool but hard.
Yeah, it's way harder. And you don't actually need to clone on the right spots to open the door. You can do it one tile shorter and just move a bit, and it's just working fine.
So when you go from being on one switch to being on the next one, you sort of like move, and there's like one frame where the game thinks that both of them are pressed down, so it counts them even though Link isn't at the right distance. It saves us 2 seconds.
2 seconds, damn. This is a very short dungeon. I consider that it's almost over when you 7 quit. Well, it's not over, but you are gonna do a trick and then the boss fight, so the dungeon itself is almost done after the first 7 quit, which is going to happen in like 10 seconds. No, and Makil gets the lucky shell drop.
Kirby was actually catching up there, but got unlucky a bit with the with the Dark Nut.
The Dark Nut. Oh, he's not gonna take the Kingstone. But so this bombable wall is actually kinda like hard to see. That's why in EU they added the. Or was it in the US?
In the US, they added two skulls.
They added 2 skulls, yeah.
So where the three tiles are, they added 2 skulls on each side to sort of point it out more.
Yeah. Alright, so if Martin is going to do the trick that's called Armor Clip, he's actually doing very precise movement. By movement, I mean rolls, to manipulate RNG so that this enemy is gonna push him through the tile. And he got it, perfect.
There you go, first try. So basically for RNG, every roll you do, every sword slash you do, and then when enemies move, all affect RNG. So getting that trick actually requires a lot, because you need to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rooms with like precise movement, which is also timing dependent, because you don't want enemies on screen for too long. So yeah, he did really good there. And then there's the boss key skip, which we didn't talk about. We'll get to see it on Kirby's screen, which basically you can lay a bomb and then do a trick called portal items to get yourself knocked back with the mitts. He's actually going to miss it here. And then get boosted onto the wall. So both Mikhail and Martin got that first try. Okay, that was a really weird setup from Kirby, but it worked out for him, so
Right.
I won't complain. Alright, so now we're at Masal. If you look closely at the floor, you can see his face.
And if you look on the walls, you can see his face as well.
Also in the corners on the walls.
Isn't that great?
It's great.
So yeah, Mazal is, funnily enough, it actually uses 2 most recent items you got, the bow and the mole meats. I think the mole meats are only required to beat this boss, actually.
No, you need the bow. You need to hit the eyes.
Yes, but I mean, the mole meats are only useful to beat Mazal
Oh,
and to do portal items, I guess.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we never equip them again.
No, to get to Tingle.
No, true. To get to Tingle. Alright, 2 uses. Yeah, so basically you use the bow to shoot the ants, and then you destroy the ants, you turn into a Minish, and you break the pillar inside. The pillars are random, but they're never gonna be twice in a row at the same time. So you can use that piece of information to try and guess what it's gonna be. And you can slide through one tile of sand, I guess, or dirt.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a pro strat on the first phase, which is using bow and boots to do what we call bulk cancelling. It saves maybe a second or two if you can pull off the fast strat, which is basically killing both hands with only arrows so that they are not stomping more than once each.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not a big deal, honestly.
Yeah, so Martin had a bit of a rough fight there. Lost a bit of time to Mikil. And Mikil barely losing out on the sub 1 off-screen.
Yeah. Sub 1 used to be the god time on Ocarina.
Yeah.
Before the new tricks. Now it's not too hard to get a 59, even a 58.
Mhm.
I got a very low 58 and my early game is not great, so it's possible.
There you go. You heard it here first. So none of them picked up the heart container because there's going to be a death abuse later, but we'll get to that later. For now, you'll just have to listen to the heart beeping.
Yeah. A little later, like in 3 minutes.
No,
More
5
like
minutes.
4. Yeah, 4. 4, not 5. Because now we're gonna do what I like to call the calm before the storm, because it's gonna be kind of a slow section when we're gonna run to each tingle to do some Kingston fusions,
Yeah.
and then it's gonna be basically a dungeon rush until the end of the game.
Yeah, so this is our last, like, big overworld segment.
Yeah. And so that's why we needed the 4 green kingstones to fuse with the 4 tingles. And everyone also picked up the red one in Fortress of Winds to fuse with the Indian guy where Kirby's is. Because it opens up a portal.
Yeah, so that portal's going to be used later. We'll get there, though.
Yeah.
Alright. So since Mikil didn't do Armos clip, he didn't get the kinstone that Martin got, so he's actually just going to do another manipulation here. And get his last kinstone.
London manip. Who found that again? Well, was it you or Toads? No, Toads.
Toads for 100%, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the 100% route, you get like 3 kinstones there. It's dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb in a good way.
The best.
Mikil also using the slower route, I think. You're supposed to go to the left first to do the blue tingle that Martin and Kerbis are doing. But
Going
he's
to
the right.
the left is slightly faster because of menuing, I think,
Yeah,
mainly.
yeah, menuing. It wouldn't be much slower, but yeah.
Yeah. I think this is the one that Martin is fusing with, the pink one or the white one. No, the white one is not a real Tingle brother, he's just a fanboy.
Pretty much.
So,
It's Tingle, Ankle, Knuckle, and David Jr. And I will let you guess which one the fanboy is.
well, this one is
It's David Jr.
Davey, something, Davey. I cannot read the hiraganas that fast, but
Oh, I don't know
That's
that
one.
I can tell you. I know it's David Jr. in English.
yeah. And so looks like they are all nearly done. Oh, Kirby's is doing the normal manip as well. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be time to get the magic boomerang. This is actually, well, getting the boomerang is going to be useful on the next dungeon. But
Next
if
few
you
dungeons.
yeah, well, mainly on jump of droplets, you don't really need it in.
Oh, sure, I
since
guess.
you got the long term. But yeah,
You're right.
I think it makes jump of droplets slower than before we did Flipperscape. I don't really know. I wasn't around back then. But the quest to get the flippers is so long. It's actually worth it to go this way still.
Yeah, pretty much.
And yeah, well, as I said, that's pretty common part. Maybe
We'll
we
get
should
there.
talk about Lake House right now.
Yeah, so with the ocarina, we can do what's called the ocarina glitch. And the first time we're going to do it is actually coming up pretty much right now. So what they're going to want to do, you can do it with doors or staircases. We only do it with doors once, which is the one that's coming up. And then the rest is going to be staircases. But with a door that's opened, if you play the ocarina on the right frame, you can basically go in a state that freezes Link, and he stays on whichever layer you are. And also he can't fall in voids or drown. We're actually going to use that to walk over water and skip the flippers. Unfortunately, you can't just open a door without going through it, so we're actually going to need to do a setup that involves dying while you open a door, which is also frame perfect. So there are two frame perfect tricks back to back, so we'll see pretty much everyone's save here. Martin's doing the buffer method here, and he actually got it. There you go.
Oh, nice.
So now he just needs to do the other frame perfect trick. And Mikhail's doing the setup method.
LG.
There you go. So
Yeah, I
Martin's
think everyone does the setup except maybe Martin. Oh no, Michael fails.
Mikhail actually missing it though, so he did save though, because missing that loses a good chunk of time. We'll see if this is Kerbis' chance to catch up. Alright, Kerbis gets to the door, okay.
Kerbis got it. Now for the OG.
And gets it first try. Easy.
First try. Alright.
Mikhail missing it again.
Oh no, Michael.
That's really bad.
Missing it is probably because while his meter is not holding up, which is the most common way to fail it. Because
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'll have to look at it closer, but
After bonking.
okay, let's see.
So
Yeah,
type
the
of droplets, yes.
Yeah, the other thing is that for the setup, you need to drop the bomb and use boots at the exact same frame.
Yeah.
Like you don't have a window, so that might also be. But he's got it. We're good. Temple droplets.
Temple of Droplets is, well, now with the new route, it's kind of an auto-scroller dungeon in the way that it's a lot of movement and some glitches, in my opinion. But the movement is kind of hard compared to what, well, it's very consistent once you get a good split, but it's really easy to lose time because you are missing OGs and getting trolled by the enemies and such.
Yeah, you can roll with Ocarina Glitch if the bird picks you up. Also, you don't need to replay the Ocarina Glitch when you get to the portal for the dungeon.
Yeah, it counts as a screen transition, I guess.
Yeah, like reloads the area, I guess. That being said, though, this dungeon's still pretty broken.
Yeah.
Well, no, not boss key skip. We skip a few small keys to actually get the boss key, even though we can skip it. And then there's out of bounds and all the fun stuff. So we'll see Mikhail. No, never mind. Mikhail's still getting the boss key. We'll see Martin though, going for the. Oh, never mind. He's getting the small key too. Very soon, we'll see Martin going for the trick that needs the boss key and the magical boomerang. So basically when you hold A after holding the magical boomerang, you can sort of control the direction it goes, which isn't super useful, especially not in this game, because boomerang's pretty useless. But if you open a boss door while you're holding A, and the boomerang's out of your inventory, or like out in the open, you actually just like walk past the screen transition, and we can use that to get out of bounds again, sort of like we did in Cave of Flames. So Martin's going to be out of bounds. I think he's going to use the cane to check his subpixels, which, to be pretty simple about it, If you roll into a wall, there's like a small chance that you can clip into it for 1 frame. I think you actually got it like first try there. That was really fast. So you need to like roll into the wall, clip into it, and then with the cane you can check if you have that or not, because obviously you're off screen there. And that lets you just go and skip basically the entire left half of the dungeon.
Yeah, very, very nice trick, which is what made flipper skip possible, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's actually have been found by Toads like a day after the GDQ run back in 20 something 16. 16 was it? 15?
Wait, which
17? The buzz dog clipping.
Oh yeah, that was like that was after GBX's run in 2017.
2017, yeah. Like a few days after that.
Yeah.
Which, funnily enough, it's basically what happened to your run at GDQ. Angle retention was found like the week after that.
Yeah.
So if you want more skip in TMC, just get it into a GDQ and we'll do the
Getting the
rest.
Majora's Mask treatment.
Yeah. And you were talking about how this dungeon is broken. It is kind of broken, but it's still the longest dungeon in the game. It's close to 9 minutes. You can get sub 9 from entering to getting the element, but it's quite hard, I think. Like,
I split out a weird place, so I couldn't tell you. I split when I got the boomerang.
yeah, well, I split on entering and getting the element, and my goal is like 856, I think. So that's kind of tough. Especially since you can lose like 20 to 30 seconds to getting the right subpixel, and there's nothing you can do about it, really.
And like you miss Ocarina glitches, because there are other Ocarina glitches in this dungeon. Actually, Curtis is doing one right now where he goes, he's on a separate layer, so he doesn't hit anything with collisions.
Yep.
Cool game.
Oh, Martin.
Alright, Martin playing a dance with the lever there.
After switching the two switches, yeah, that's a good sentence. The element gets enforced, but Octo, the worst enemies in the game,
Also gets him frozen.
swallowing it. But we're not gonna fight him just yet, because since we've done the dungeon in a very, very unintended order, we still don't have the dungeon item, which is required only to kill that guy, which is the lantern.
Yeah, so we'll go get the lantern. Actually, funnily enough, there you go. After you unfreeze Octo, since we skipped that Ezlo trigger earlier, you get it now. So Kirby's gonna run into it in a sec, and it's actually Ezlo telling you that like the element's frozen and Octo's frozen as well. So yeah, she's a bit late on that. Alright, so Martin's gonna fight the mini-boss. So it's a rerun of the first boss, which is Choo Choo, or Big Choo Choo. But this time it's a blue Choo Choo, so he does have electricity, which makes it a bit tougher. Mostly you can't use the Gust Jar when his electricity's up. So just managing that is the tricky part, but the rest of the fight is pretty much the exact same.
Yeah, and whereas, well, with the green shoe on the last phase, you want him to not jump and charge at you. On this one, you actually want him to do the jumps and not charge at you, because it's gonna be under electricity anyway, so that's not gonna help you whatsoever.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's exactly the same as green shoe, 5 to 9 hits.
Yeah.
Wow, so literally it's the same. The route actually changed. Well, I think it's close to a year ago now, when Toads made up an Octo Manip, because Octo is the boss on this dungeon, obviously, and it has three phases. The first two are fixed, but the last one is very, very, very random. And by very, I mean that you can lose half a minute to a full minute without doing anything about it.
Oh yeah.
But now with Octomanip, as long as you're doing it right, it's never gonna happen. Which is good and bad. It's good because you are on average going to be half a minute faster. But it's bad because whenever you miss it, you really want to hurt yourself really bad.
You really want to reset.
Yeah.
Actually, I wonder, Martin's only on 1 heart. Is that going to affect anything?
I think it doesn't.
Okay, there are some manipulations that being low health or not having enough rupees, for example, affects the manipulation, but some of them don't, so it's really weird. If he does it right, he's not going to take any damage anyways, so we'll just hope he does it right. So everything he did from the save warp to like running down and being here, all his rolls, for example, are all timed and they all need to be done at specific times, and he needs to be like standing in specific places because there's the RNG portion of it, but there's also manipulating Octo, who reacts based on like where you are, sort of thing. So yeah, he's going to be careful with that.
Yeah.
But assuming he does everything right, on the 3rd phase he shouldn't get an attack that Octo can do that wastes 30 seconds per attack. Like he can do up to 2 times, as we've mentioned.
Exactly. The only thing to look, well, the only touchy thing, I guess, the only delicate part of Octomanip is looking at the rock patterns in the end, which is where it can be different, and you actually need to be very fast when lightning the tail on fire, and Martin got it. Actually, see there, for example, Martin needs to do 3 rolls once Octo starts moving again, and that's it. And we'll see what other runner get, because well, Octo rolls RNG every frame, I think, so you have to adapt a little bit at the end.
Yeah. And no one's perfect.
Yeah, there are a few patterns, like 2 are very common, 2 are less, and if you get something else, you are basically screwed. And you get an ink most of the time. But I didn't see which pattern Kirby's got, but looks like he got the manip as well.
Yeah, that's the dream. Alright, as long as Nikhil gets it, then this race is still in full effect. Yeah, because Octo is definitely not the last place where you can lose time.
Yeah, far from it. Michael should get it, yeah. 3 rolls once he starts moving again, which is one of the most common patterns. Oh no, he's not doing anything. No!
Oh no! Oh no!
Michael.
Oh no! Michael!
Well, now you can see what is an ink. You get sucked in, you lose a full heart.
Yeah.
Just lose 1 rock, and then he does that. And he's gonna charge the walls 3 to 6 times, I think. Something like that.
It depends.
And make rock drop, and well, it's kind of bad.
Yeah, so Mikhail's probably beating himself up over that.
Yeah.
But it looks like he's gonna continue, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you don't die, it's time loss, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, so lose 30 seconds there.
Alright, so Kirby's right now is playing another game that's called Metal Gear Solid, where you have to sneak in. I could hum the theme sound, the main theme, but nobody wants that. I mean, I do, but you guys don't, so I'm not gonna do it. But all that to go back to the castle and fuse the sword, because the king ordered that nobody can enter the castle anymore.
Yeah, well, the king / Wadi.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, this is the emergency state is on. Nobody gets in or out.
No one gets in there. Pretty much. So with the extra element, the water element that we just got from Octo, we can make an extra clone. And that's going to be useful pretty much for just the next dungeon. Technically, it can also be useful in the graveyard, but we're not going to go to the graveyard because we're scared of ghosts. Yeah,
the ghost of an Elder King is like, hey yo, do you want to come to the graveyard with me? We're gonna have some party and such. And we're like, yeah, no.
Actually,
I have better things to do. Like what?
Gotta go fast.
Yeah.
So with the portal that we opened up, with the red kinstone that we got in Fortress of Winds, if you do the Ocarina glitch, you can actually go through objects, objects being like people, for example, So Martin's gonna get the stair walk. The Ocarina glitch is frame perfect, so if you're too early, you're gonna play the Ocarina. If you're too late, you're gonna go down the stairs. And he needs to stop doing that because Kirby is right on his tail. There you go, he gets it. So you can just walk right through people. So we just need to do that twice to enter the next dungeon.
Yeah. So first Ocarina glitch saves about 50 minutes, is it?
Yeah, 15 to 25-ish.
Royal Valley and the whole Veilfall and Cloudtop section. So the second one saves 15 seconds because you just save going to talk to the Elder.
It's closer to 40, but yeah, it doesn't save nearly as much.
40 for the second.
Oh yeah, the Elder talks forever.
Oh yeah.
Wait, no, never mind. I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, it saves like 15. I'm thinking of like the European version difference, where like you need to walk all the way down after.
On the European version, which is the most broken, by the way, you actually cannot do this OG. Well, you can do it, but you actually cannot exit this area by using the Ocarina, which is what we do in Japanese version. So it means you absolutely need to talk to the Elder and the lady so that she steps aside, because otherwise you will get stuck into the wall, and that's not a good thing. I've done it once in real life, and you don't like being stuck into a wall.
No.
I mean, what?
Yeah, for some reason we can get past the lady that Mikhail's actually gonna Ocarina glitch through, but we can't get past the little guy on the top floor.
The guy, it's a girl as well.
Is it a girl?
I mean, look at the red ears. It's like bunny ears, or I don't know.
Oh, I thought that was just like part of the hood.
Yeah, but it's clearly feminine. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
Tell us what you think in chat. Is this a girl or a boy?
Alright, so Martin's at the coolest fight, in my opinion, which is the Wizard fight. We use bombs and the lantern. The lantern one-shots all of them. Oh, okay, actually messed it up.
Wow. This is a really cool fight, but it's also very finicky.
Yeah. It's pretty tight with like what you can and can't hit.
Yeah. Everybody uses the lantern except Toads. Toads use the sword, which is slightly faster because of menuing. I think.
I thought lantern was faster. And that's why everyone switched to lantern, because everyone used to do that strat with the sword before.
No, sword is... I'm pretty sure sword is faster, but it's also very, very hard, at least to me.
Oh.
But yeah, that's... And then we go to our last item, the rock scape.
Alright, I'm actually just going to refresh, because the time difference on Martin and Mikhail... Martin Kerbis was... Alright, so Kerber's about 10 seconds behind Martin right now.
10 seconds? Damn.
So if you can bring this back, we can get the upset.
I mean, Minish Cap is the kind of game where you're not done until you are really done. Especially with the final boss. But yeah, so the rest of the dungeon is basically, well, it's not cakewalk, but it's basically movement that you can optimize like any other thing, but there's one trick that you actually do twice, but it's not really hard to do. It can be hard to do fast though.
Yeah.
But it's not a run killer at all. Alright, Michael got the fight.
Yeah, Mikhail did a good fight there. Oh, Martin's doing a glitch though. We didn't have time to talk about it. So again with the angle root, if you use the cane, so Kerbis is doing it right, you can actually jump out diagonally. We call that the Gilbo hop. It's pretty cool. Basically that lets us skip a small key. Or rather, a small door, which lets us skip a small key, so we can use the small key differently.
Later on?
Yeah, later on.
And basically with
we're actually gonna do it.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, with a diagonal angle, instead of jumping straight, you jump diagonally, so you don't jump as far, and then you get into the wall. And that's it, basically. I don't know if you've said that. I was.
Sorry, my internet like just died.
Oh, all right. So now that they've done this trick twice, they just have to jump till the end of the dungeon, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, you're back. I wasn't sure if it got better. But yeah, this dungeon is mainly about movement all around, so just breathing through. And if you remember the trick just before the boss door in Temple of Droplets, we're actually gonna do the exact same one, but this time we are more options. In Droplets we could only do it with the boomerang, and it was needed to do the subpixel setup. Now we can actually use the lantern for it, which is faster and safer. You basically just have to light up the lantern and open the door half a second later or less, and half a second is a lot.
Yeah, it's a 12 frame window, which is like really easy.
Oh, that's 12? I thought that was like 13, but...
No.
Right, so 12 is actually more closer to a fourth of a second, but...
Yeah, but like even then it's like super easy to do.
Yeah.
But some runners like Kirby's can see, actually Martin I think will do that too, will still use the boomerang since there's an anti-fairy there, and you can use the anti-fairy just to get a fairy with the boomerang. And it doesn't lose that much time.
Yeah, and getting a fairy is actually very nice here because...
harder method, it's still super easy.
Yeah. I actually always get the fairy from the anti-fairy because I'm very reckless in this dungeon, and I want a lot of health for this boss fight because it's not inherently hard, but you can take a lot of damage during it. And that's Gayok Pair, that's semi-worst enemy. Shout out to Semi in chat.
Yeah. Getting a fairy there is pretty good though, because you definitely want a health refill, because if you die in this fight, your run is like over.
Yeah, it's over because you cannot do boss door flipping again.
Yeah. So first of all, you need to climb the entire dungeon again, but yeah, the boss door is open, so you need to actually do the second half of the dungeon, so it's...
Which nobody knows how to do.
Just runners know how. Or like, really old runners.
Yeah. But yeah, this is Gayogs. It's mainly always the same phases, as long as you behave the same. The blue one is gonna shoot at you while you hit the raid, and you need to clone to get to the eyes. You don't have to clone at the same pattern that the eyes open. You can actually, like Kirby's is doing, one pattern is gonna work for every possibilities. And Akil forgot the key. Oh no.
Oh no.
Well, it's gonna show what we used to do.
Yeah, it's only 30-second time.
40 seconds. Yeah, but still. Right. But yeah, Kirby's is having some trouble with it. I would advise on never trying, not doing what Kirby's is doing, which is cloning, staying close to cloning tiles while you are holding the sword, because that's where the blue one is going to aim. You actually want to be as far away as those tiles as you can. He has a fairy though.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah, I think he does.
But yeah, the blue one's gonna shoot right at you, so
yeah.
The Kirby's just being on those tiles.
Martin is gonna do cloneless.
That's right.
If the hearts line up in this pattern, you can
No,
Martin died. No.
Oh my god.
Ah, that's so sad. I wonder if he's gonna keep going or not. Looks like it. Martin knows the route since he runs glitchless, but it's still a massive bummer.
Yeah, still not great.
It's gonna be at least 7-minute time loss, if not more.
Yeah, probably more. Because like we don't even get like the blue portals or anything, so
yeah, he didn't got anything. Oh well.
Well, Mikhail's not in second place on the bright side.
Yeah, and Kirby's just took quite a lead.
Yeah,
around the 2 minutes lead maybe on Mikhail and
yeah, about that I'd say. No, I think Kirby's is pretty set for the rest of the game as long as he doesn't die.
Oh well.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, I know what's gonna happen to yeah.
No,
Yeah, I
Martin.
think Martin is having a really hard time now, but I can't blame him. Alright, going back to the run. Kirby is doing the Metal Gear Solid part
Yeah,
again
that's not.
to get back into the castle to finally fuse the Force Sword. Right, Ko is having some internet issues. I was actually wondering. So Kirby is getting his Force Sword, and that's actually what triggers the Dark Carol Castle state, which basically means that Vaadi has taken over the castle, and well, that's it, basically. And we're gonna get a run back of the intro cutscene, but with an extra panel this time, which is basically the big twist of the game that I'm not gonna spoil.
That would have ruined the entire story for me.
Yeah. So this is the point where everybody goes, "Oh my god, why did you reset Kirby's?"
Yeah, I think Martin's a bit flustered after that mistake. Can't blame him though. That's a hard L to take. See, I'm about 2 minutes behind, but technically not out yet.
Yeah, it's definitely not out, because you can really lose a lot of time in the final bosses, especially I would say at those guys level, because they're up there, but they're not doing Vaadi manips just yet. So you can get trolled on those half a minute on Vaadi 1 and same on Vaadi 2, and that's really hard to predict and to react to sometimes.
Yeah.
And so Kirby's just learned that the life force that Vaadi was looking for is actually hidden in Zelda. That does some kind of load, but that's how the game goes. I'm sorry. And Vaadi was actually spying on us, and now he knows. So basically, if Vaadi is trying to kill Zelda, it's only because of us. And hey, let's talk about cutscene walking. Cutscene walking is a cool trick. If you uncurse a character and you get into an Ezlo cutscene not at the same time, but kind of at the same time, you can interrupt the freezing of Link and still move. And then if you unfreeze the second one while the first one talks, it does kind of the same thing. It interrupts the freezing of Link and you can still move. And it saves around 7 or 8 seconds. And that's a pretty neat trick. And now in Dark Carol Castle, Kirby is doing his first OG.
Yeah, so it's basically like...
Yeah, go on. Are you there, Crow?
Yeah, no, so for cutscene walking. So for cutscene walking, it's like, so it's when things freeze you, they unfreeze you after. So it's like you're getting frozen by one thing as the first thing's unfreezing you. And then you're getting unfrozen by that thing as the next one freezes you, so you get to walk around with them. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Without Ocarina Glitch though, we can skip a small key, which normally we get by the king who's in the dungeon, but that's slow. We will need 4 small keys though, so that's the next goal of the run.
Yo, and Kirby's gets cloneless. That's a really neat trick, which saves maybe 10 seconds, maybe less. but it's always great to get and always awful to miss.
Yeah, meanwhile, Martin's doing the glitchless route for this dungeon. We'll get there. I believe in our boy.
Yeah, it's gonna finish. So yeah, we're just gonna do 4 OGs in Dark Owl Castle to get 4 keys, and then it's gonna be the very end of the game, which is basically a manip and then 3 boss fights back to back.
And a mini boss fight if you want to count that.
Mini boss fight being the Dark Nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's in the manip, I guess, but yeah.
That's fair.
It takes around 7 minutes if you're good. Less than that if
save and quit.
Yeah, 7
Yeah,
minutes.
7 to 8 minutes. Yeah.
And if you, well, since you do a 7 quit, you can do a manip, which they're all gonna do, and that you actually learn once you get comfortable with the game, which is quite fast, I wanna say, to have one of the Darknet charge at you, but we will come back to that later.
Yeah.
Basically, Kirby Season with, I guess, the first, well, more than the first part of the dungeon, because he's doing his 3rd Ocarina glitch already. And after that, he's gonna do second half, I guess, of Dark Owl Castle. Dark Owl Castle isn't that long. Like, I have some weird split, so I split at entering DHC after the Sanctuary, and I end it on the last 7 quit, and it's around 6 minutes and a half for me, so that's maybe 7 minutes for newer players, which is shorter than Temple of Droplets, for example.
Pretty much. If like from entering the dungeon to entering the boss door, it's about the same time as you get shrines if you get all your Ocarina glitches first try. Which, like, this dungeon you'll use Ocarina glitches so much because there's staircases everywhere and layers and stuff. Speaking of, this is called the door jump. You can do that with Ocarina glitch too, by the way. You only do it twice in the run, and that was the first time. This is the second door jump. Also, this is the last Ocarina glitch of the game.
Yeah. But it actually is the longest one, maybe, because you keep the OG state for quite some time. For example, here, Kirby still has the OG states, which means he has to roll on every new room he enters so that he can jump or use a sword or... Well, that's about it, really.
No, you should be able to use a sword.
Oh yeah? But not jump then?
No.
For some reason.
When you screen transition, the Ocarina glitch sort of like keeps where the first tile is you are. So like, let's say you screen transition over a void, you're going to be like infinitely falling in the void. But since you screen transition into a door, and if you start walking around, the Ocarina glitch is going to like think you're under the door all the time, so you just can't jump. Which is actually why if you miss that, you need to roll outside, so the game thinks like you're sort of like in the room, and then you go under the door to do the door jump.
Yep. So Kirby is gonna fight the most terrifying Dark Knight of the game. Not really. Oh, he took it so slow, so safe. I was almost afraid he was too slow on slashing. But
Yeah,
you can actually lock this Dark Knight in place on the door if you're doing it in rhythm, I guess, more than fast.
Yeah, it's not exactly a difficult fight. And if you mess it up, it's only one direction.
Yeah, and with the cape, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
You learn quickly enough to do some small diagonal jump like Kirby is doing. Because it's not like in the Oracle games where you have the feather and then the cape. Feather does one jump, the cape can do 2. This cape does 2 right off the bat, so if you just do 1 jump instead of the long 2 jump, you can actually control your the length of your jump more easily. Those were the guineas. Some enemies that I hate since they cost me my was it 6th place, 7th place a year ago. But you have to find which one is the true one without getting comboed by them.
Yeah, so basically they like lock you in place, and you need to mash to get out, and then you jump out in the direction you're holding. Which, if you're mashing like with the D-pad, you can be going in a random direction, and you can like fall directly into another one. And there are 4 genies, so it's like it can just snowball and just
forever.
Make a really bad time.
So Kirby's is doing Darknet Manip, he's doing Toad's Manip. I know that because he's slashed 3 times while doing the cloning sword thingy.
Yeah.
There are a lot of different manips. I would say it's down to preferences, but mostly it's down to what is the last one you learned. Because at first you learn how to get 1 shard, then 2 or 3 shard, then you want to expand to Vaidi Manip. But that means doing all the steps before correctly, and you find something that you like more and such. So this is a kind of tricky room, but with Toad's Manip you can just do that.
No, alright.
But in order for it to work with Toad's Manip, you have to get the real link on the left, not on the right. I don't know if you know that, or maybe maybe it's not true, but
I don't do this minute, so I don't know.
Yeah.
On
Black Manip, it's the other way around. You need the real link on the right.
Okay. So Kirby's is going to miss the manip, which should make the Black Darknet charge down, and then you can just hit him a bunch of times and make this fight a lot better.
Yeah, well, he got to charge anyway, but it's not optimal. And he's going to lose health, which is not great, especially when Vaidi can be such a troll.
Yeah. He should still be fine. I don't think Mikhail is close enough to be able to snag the lead, even with a good minute. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That was still an okay Darknet fight.
That was an okay fight indeed. He only lost 8 seconds, so that's okay. And now it's going to be 3 boss fights: Vaidi 1, Vaidi 2, Vaidi 3, because we are great at giving names. Vaidi 1 is the most random, I want to say. I don't know. Basically, you have to slash the eyes that are going to circle around him, and then slash the main eye. At some points, those eyes are going to be covered by a rock, which you will have to use the ghost jar to suck off. And that's basically a very, very random fight, because he can teleport everywhere past the second phase, which is why some runner tried to manipulate this fight. It's kind of hard, but I found that Black's manip is not impossible. Toad's manip is impossible though. Sorry, Toads.
Sorry, Toads.
If you do it correctly, you can kill Vaidi 1 in 5 cycles, 3 and then 2, 3 without the rocks on the eyes and 2 with the rocks on the eye. But it's really easy to get a 6th cycle, because you really need to hit him 6 times on both the 4th and 5th phase. Right, on the other hand, Michael is getting 2 charges, which is great.
Yeah, he does the setup I do.
The one that gets you a green keystone?
Yeah, well, sometimes. Depends if you slash.
Alright.
You can sort of manipulate it to get 3 charges, but it's not as fast as the other 3 charges.
Yeah.
Also, in case anyone's wondering... In case everyone's wondering, it's not actually Body 1. Body Reborn, Body Transfigured, and Body's Wrath, but no one remembers that, so we go with 1, 2, 3. That is your lore.
See, I didn't know that.
There you go. Learn something new. So for this boss, though, it's supposed to be a 4-cycle fight, but we can sort of, for some reason or another, this boss specifically has a very weird thing it does with its health. So we can sort of manipulate it to get 3 cycles instead of 4, which saves like 30 seconds or something, especially because the last cycle's easily the worst.
Well, Cabis is gonna get four cycles now.
Yeah. Alright, so Kerberos ends up messing it up because you need both clones to be able to do that. Meanwhile, I don't know, depending on how bad his 4th cycle is going to be, Mikhail could catch up. Like, it's that bad.
Definitely cold. Yeah.
It can snowball that much.
Yeah, so 32, you basically need to use the arrows to open up the eyes and then slash the hell out of him. By doing spin attack is the best you can do.
Yeah.
It's just like Mazal, the 4 eyes are going to be random, but never the same twice in a row, except on the first phase, it's always going to be the 4 of the bottom.
Yeah. And it's always in a C shape, so it makes it easier.
And, well, just like Vadi 1, you can manage this fight, but it's even harder because RNG rolls even faster. I've actually been looking at it recently, and on Vlex's video, you can see how the RNG rolls, and in this fight, it's insane. Just really hard. And
not only is this fight hard, but you need to do body 1 minute as well, which if you miss that, then
which is what makes it even harder. It's you have to do Dark Knight Money perfectly, then Variety 1 Money perfectly, and then this one, which is a lot to make. There's a lot of variables that can mess up. But you can get this fight in under a minute with Flex Manip, so that's a progress moment. And now Kirby's is escaping the castle with the princess, which he saved after killing Vadi. But the castle is falling apart because of black magic, I guess. And he's getting a ferry for safety. I wonder if Quo is still there. Maybe internet broke again. Are you there, Quo? Maybe not. So I lied, of course. Vidi is not dead yet. It's Vidi 3. The easiest out of the 3 because it has less RNG, I want to say. RNG is about when the arms are going to get into the ground and where the small eyes that you want to hit is gonna be inside it.
I've actually never seen someone run through body like that Kerberos just did.
Oh yeah? That's what I do every time, so that you get on the portal as soon as you can. Because when you are on the portal, you are not at the same level as Vidi and you are invincible. Yeah.
Nothing can hit you there.
Yeah. A really cool trick that no one does except, well, I do it when I'm on a dead run, which is also time, is try to do portal items with the Cane of Palsy, so that, well, if you time it right, you're gonna jump on the portal, and once you are up there, you're gonna fire the cane, and if you lure the eye right below it, and it gets up at the right time, you're gonna flip it, and then shrink, which is great.
It looks really cool, and it's very fast. It's just very hard and precise.
Yeah, and it saved maybe a second. That's not worth it at all. And once both arms are destroyed, you just have to play the Blue Balls game, which is just like in Link to the Past and other games, except this time you do want some blue balls and not lightning attack.
You want some blue balls, but not the other blue balls. Because they're all blue. Alright, Kerberos about to come up on time.
Yep. I just hope he's not gonna forget to do the right thing. He forgot. Oh no, he thought about it. Alright.
Going for the swag kill with the bomb.
The bomb kill is the best kill.
There you go.
Alright, my kill is first. The bomb kill was for you, cool. Damn.
Good job, Kerberos. So 147.55 on his timer.
He's less than a minute over his PB, which is pretty good. He was only 23 seconds behind after Dark Nuts, so that's quite consistent, honestly.
Yeah, that's good.
So my kill is coming up on Variety 3 as well. Stream is frozen on my hand, so I don't really know what's going on, but
Yeah, he's still going.
about Variety 3, you only need to slash twice every phase. That's the amount of hits you need to do. As far as I know, every boss only has a hit counter except for Variety 2, which has health. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I think.
Well, I mean, as long as you hit them enough to let's say they have 10 health, as long as you do 10 damage, then that's all you need to do. If you hit them more, you're not going to do more damage.
Yeah, alright. And I think Kirby's just joined us.
Yeah.
Hello, Kirby's.
Hi.
Meanwhile,
So-
before that, Mikhail's about to finish though. He's on the last one.
Yeah, and the bomb kill as well. Nice!
He's got it. Alright, Kerbis, first place. Tell
Yep.
us the story.
The story is I started playing on Wii U this week, and it actually did not take me very long to get used to it. I thought it was going to take me a while, but
Yeah,
I feel
agree.
pretty much as good as I was on emulator at this point. I've only been playing for a few days on it,
Mm-hmm.
which is good.
You were doing good up until the Darknet minute, so it's like you're still pretty
Yeah,
consistent at it.
the Georg fight and the Darknet minute
Yeah,
were like
right, that too.
two big
Yeah.
things. God, that was so bad.
Gayok's fight, yeah. I mean, you probably lost your call, but never try to clone next to the cloning tiles, because the blue one is gonna aim at you, so you want to be on the edges. But I mean, with the raised pressure, it's understandable.
Yeah, I was on like pretty reasonable PB pace even at like
all the
Dark
time.
Hyrule Castle boss key. I was only 15 seconds behind.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, with this and that. But hey, that just means that you're gonna PB real soon.
yeah,
I think it's a sign.
I just got to play the game and it'll happen.
Yeah. There you go.
And learn Armos clip.
No Armos clip.
It's gonna say
I'm gonna get 142 with Lon Lon Ranch minute just to spite everybody.
I'm not gonna be spited.
Just
What?
don't fail quad minute.
Exactly.
yeah,
Learn what minute?
quad minute.
No,
I'm
no,
disappointed in all of you. I would have gone for quad.
Nah, quad minute is too much. I don't understand it. Someone needs to. I need you guys to tutor me how to do quad minute because I don't get it at all. It makes no sense to me.
You need a sacrificial lamb before you do it.
It makes no sense to anyone. Don't worry.
That's what
Right,
it seems
so-
like.
Mikhail and Myth have joined us as well. Mikhail finished again, and Myth had to stop after Chrono.
Yeah, so I
Hello.
didn't actually intend on forfeiting at that point. I was going to save and then continue, but I had a PC crash on the game over screen, so it put me back to intro cutscene. So I lost 20 minutes, so I couldn't continue at that point.
With this PC crashed. Which double.
As it happens.
As it happens. Bit unfortunate on this end.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Martin is actually doing his Darknet Manip, which is same as Kirby's, which is Toads. Meanwhile, can you tell us what you thought of your run, Mikhail?
It's just a disaster.
Yeah,
Complete disaster, man. The early game, it's super rusty. I couldn't roll properly, and then
Your early game was
forgot
pretty
a
good
bunch of
though.
junk. Well,
Because like
not in the early
up
game.
until Lake House. Sorry, go for it.
Yeah, in the late game, my rolling was on point, and then if I did another run right now, I'd probably PB, but I'm
Do
not
it.
going to.
Go for it.
Lake House was unfortunate, but then after that, my ocarina glitches were good, right? So early game,
Yeah.
my first ocarina glitch was bad, my first rolls were bad, but after that, perfect.
Oh no, you didn't get Octomanip.
Yeah, I don't know really how to do Octomanip without the picture, so I just didn't do it. I guessed. I probably screwed up earlier on anyway.
No,
But,
you got it's the right pattern, but you had to do 3 rolls, and you did not.
Yeah, I don't recognize patterns yet,
Yeah.
so I just stand in the corner and hope.
I-
But whatever. So there's that, Palace of Winds is just garbage. I swear, I was like, I forgot a key somewhere. It's like, that's not possible. What happened? Just left it on the ground in front of the Dark Nuts. Or the ball and chain dudes, whatever.
Wait,
So I
did
went
you?
around. I did. I went around and did like
okay.
that whole thing, and I was like, how did I forget a key?
No,
So I lost like a minute there. And then in Vadi 3, somehow my computer deselected my emulator after I killed the 2 arms, so I just like stood there for a while taking damage, trying to figure out why my controller wasn't working. So that screwed up the whole blue ball section, and then I finished.
Well, that was still a sub 152.52, which is all that matters in this day and age.
Exactly.
Getting 152.52.
If you say so.
It used to be the good PB time, now it's the good race time. That's what we'll say.
There you go. But yeah, Mikhail, you were actually in the lead up until Lake House, and then
Lake House.
and then Lake House, and then Octo.
I feel like I could have won still if freaking Vadi 3 didn't happen.
I mean, it was
I don't
actually
know
pretty
how close that was.
So Kerbis had a good
Around
lead.
2 minutes.
I think I lost about a minute on body 2.
Yeah, and also which didn't help either.
And I failed Dark Nut Minute, but I actually got like a pretty
It was still good.
thin fight.
Yeah,
Like for not getting the minute, it was about as good as you can ask for.
pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, it could have been really close though. We'll try again next month. All right. In the
Hopefully I
meantime,
can get past the second split.
you got this. You got this. Just blame Rando.
It's all random.
Martin
alright.
got
So I
charged.
considered going into the cave and getting the heart piece, and I looked at my health and I was like, nah, it's fine. I then immediately got hit by 2 boulders. And
What
went
is
down.
that? Martin got 3 charges.
What a pro. He's probably doing the Vadi 2 minute, you know?
Yeah.
At this point, I think he's just finishing.
But yeah, that was a great run on Kirby's. Some unfortunate mistake on Michael, but the race was kind of solid, I think, from what I've seen. And while Martin had one big screw up, which has been following him since Palace of Winds. But he was close to getting sub 2 even with the glitchless route on Palace of Winds. Which
It was pretty cool because I was looking at the restream every so often. We were very close up to like pretty much the end of Temple of Droplets. Like I think we were all fighting Blue Chew at the same time.
Yeah, and everyone was knocked out at the same time.
Yeah. And then kind of Palace of Winds things I guess happened. I'm not really sure what happened, but things happened.
Martin died at Georg.
Ooh.
I didn't look at it the entire time I was in Palace of Winds. I just peeked over as I was like going through the cutscene of getting the wind element, and I was like, oh, I'm ahead.
Yeah. No, Martin was ahead and then died at Georg, and then that put him like way behind, and then...
Did he not get a fairy?
No, he had to do the second half of House of Winds, because
I don't feel bad then.
He deserves it. Nah.
The fairy takes like 5 seconds to get.
I know, but like, you want to get the
Fairy is
for
not
your health.
necessary.
I mean, it's not, but in a race, you know.
I mean, I would have died if I didn't grab the fairy as well.
Yeah. There you go.
Seems necessary to me.
5 seconds or 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I don't even know how to do Palace of Winds glitchless, so I would have forfeited at that point.
Yeah, no, Martin's an older runner, so he did Palace of Winds before he had all the boss work stuff.
did he?
Speaking of, he just
Kervis, I just want to say, I did try to get the fairy, but instead of like putting it in the bottle, he just went into my hand.
No, wait, which one?
The one after the boss key.
Oh, well, you should have gotten the one before the dungeon.
Oh,
What a waste of time. I got the fairy. I'll admit it.
Kervis, I just want to say, I did
Anyway,
try to get the
not
fairy,
dying
but instead of like
Yeah, jeez.
putting it in the bottle, he just
Good luck.
14
went
minutes.
into my head.
Do you have a
yeah.
fairy, or are you actually on a
Oh,
quarter?
he does not.
I'm on after Alright. Go, okay. Okay.
Oh.
This is intense.
Yeah, so we'll see. If he gets the 3 cycle, it shouldn't be a problem. If he doesn't get the 3 cycle, he gets the cycle 4, then it will be a problem, because cycle 4 is really rough.
Yeah.
Alright, I actually have to personally head out, but good
Oh,
stuff, guys. Fun race. Good
I
luck.
want to
Good job
be
on the first place.
Thanks.
Ah!
See you next
Oh,
month,
okay.
Kirby's.
Okay.
For sure.
This is intense.
Oh, this is so sketchy.
This is stressful.
Yeah, I'm not feeling good watching this. I'm really tense.
And like the odds of a heart dropping here is like 0, basically, right?
Yeah, GG.
It's like
not
0.1% or
super-
something.
It's not super
kinda
uncommon.
low.
Yeah,
Look
it's
at
pretty
this
low.
guy.
It's not super uncommon.
He
But Martin's
wins.
making it.
Nah, he's
Yeah,
What a
alright. Martin still has to not take a rock to the
skip the
face.
hearts now.
Alright, a fairy or no?
No.
Yeah, skip it.
No?
Go.
But you gotta heal.
Who takes any damage on 33? Come on, you can do it.
It's been done.
Alright, let's go. No fairy.
You should probably get a fairy if you want to finish.
Yeah.
No, this is a no-hit run, a 0 hit
Yeah.
run.
Can you finish Minish
the
Cap
real
without
question.
getting hit?
OHKO, right? You can.
Alright,
That's
a
hard.
fairy or no?
Two
You
is all
can
you
do polar
No.
items and you
Okay.
can do lake house though.
Alright, come on, buddy.
Alright, just don't run through
Alright,
body.
let's go. No fairy.
Yeah.
No.
So actual body isn't too much of an issue.
Yeah.
The issue is when he's in the
Can
hands.
you finish
and,
Minish Cap without
the
getting
small
hit?
yellow things are walking around.
And actually dodging the lightning attack the first time.
Yeah, it's not the hardest thing in the world, but
It's not the hardest, but it's kind of finicky.
it's definitely still a concern.
Alright, watch. Alright, so far so good.
Patience is key here.
Stand on the portal until he gives up.
Boomerang strats. Yo, let's go.
Alright, easy, easy.
Alright, if Martin dies on the arm, we have to spam. Is this FFZ mod on? No, it's not on. So, quoting to Wiley, not leaving it down.
Wait, is it not on?
I don't think so.
It's still set to, I think it's still set to the older runner. Oh,
Wait, didn't Martin recently die to Batty 3 on a PD base run?
probably.
Yeah, like 2 times in a row.
Oh no.
Oh,
We go.
missing the boomerang strat. Wow.
Almost got him on the
Dude, he's
back
doing
there,
it.
but- Oh man,
Jesus.
absolute legend.
And now he's gonna.
Now watch me die to blue balls.
Yeah!
Just like slashes early and gets like bashed in the face with them.
Yeah, like 2 times in a row.
Oh, robbed.
Right, for blue balls, it's better to be slightly to the right than slightly to the left, because Link is left-handed. And that's a fact.
That
Is
is a
Link
fact.
permanently left-handed in this game, or like a lot of
Um,
2D Zeldas, he switches depending on
Yeah,
which
no,
direction.
when he,
Now
when
watch
he
me
looks
die
left
to
and right.
blue balls. Alright. Wow.
Also, if you do angle
Last
attention
phase.
facing down, Link can change which hand he uses.
That's also true.
Alright, and does he go? Yes, he goes for the bomb kill.
Keep going.
Wow.
GG, Martin.
That is done. He hasn't split yet.
Nice.
Alright,
The
we-
guy
Oh, that was stressful.
doesn't give up.
Don't do that again.
Alright, what a run.
What a run. Alright, Martin, do you want an interview? Or do you
Yeah.
just want to like,
let's
forget
go.
about it? Okay.
No, this run is insane.
It is
So you-
insane.
You were actually like in the lead for Well, like it was going between the three runners, but like for a good chunk of it, you were pretty much in the lead for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all started at Blue Rupee Man-Up.
Oh yes.
I blame Fire Rod, Muscle Marine.
Yeah, all your strats are out the window now, right?
Damn fire rod. And then Georg happened.
Oh yeah.
Well,
That
before,
was
yeah.
bad.
And then the second half of Palace of Wind, but at least you know how to do that fast since you run glitchless.
Yeah.
So it could have been better.
A little bit.
Not your worst run.
Yeah.
Probably your worst run since Angler Retention Glitch was found, but
Yeah. Probably. I like after. So after Earth Element, I was like I gained like a bunch of time to Cave of Flames, and then I lost time in Fire Element again. And then my Fortress of Winds and my Tangle of Droplets were really good, I feel like. But yeah, Palace of Winds wasn't too bad until it happened. But,
until it happened. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, now you know for next month to pick up a fairy.
Yeah.
Always pick up a fairy before.
Alright.
Alright, I think that's it for us.
Yeah.
We will be back next month.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will try to join next month, but I need to practice before.
Nah.
Am I banned from raiding?
I want to show all the merits.
Any last comments? Just want to say GG's to all the runners and big thanks. How do you pronounce your name?
PK.
PK? Just PK?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
This way.
And thanks, Quo. And also,
Gotcha.
I'm glad we were able to promote that GoFundMe as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully.
Stop.
Okay. So, I guess we're gonna wrap things up. So again, GG's to all the runners. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and we hope to see you soon. Bye.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Remember
Bye.
the world.